Welcome everyone today to another episode of BizzTalk, where we talk about the events industry. Really exciting. Really glad to have our guest here today, Arijit, from World Leader Summit, and we're going to be talking today about how to monetize virtual events. Arijit, really glad to have you. This is not your first time on BizzTalk, but it is the first time that you and I are on BizzTalk together. So I'm really looking forward to this. And I know that you're doing a lot of really exciting things. So I would love it if you could take a few minutes, tell the audience a little bit about yourself and your background, and maybe a few of the projects that you're working on right now that you're excited about, and then we can kind of get started on the topic and have a good time.
Oh, of course, sure. So I'll start with my background. I started back in 1998 when I was 17 years old as an entrepreneur. From my school days, basically, the whole entrepreneurial bug actually bite me.
Right.
Yeah. So when I was in my chemistry lab, I used to do a lot of chemistry compositions without the syllabus. Those are all my experiments. A lot of passion. And in my school days, I used to draw comics. I used to write comics. I used to create superhero characters. Of course, Disney,
Fantastic. That's
yeah,
cool.
of course, Disney fascinated me. And when I thought that let me create something magnificent for my country, um, because in our culture, if you look at the Sindhu culture or Hindu culture, we have a lot of epic stories. We have a lot of mysteries. It's like 10,000 before Christ culture. So
Right.
um, we thought that I thought that maybe that will help for people to know the science behind the mythology and what would be the best way. What would be the best way to help our countrymen to probably understand those old science and maybe adopt them and maybe tell the world who we are. That's how the thought process started, to be very honest, in my school days. There was nothing like I'll become rich, I'll make a lot of money. It's not like that. But yeah, when I passed my school, I wanted to start my own venture. So I left engineering as a graduation. I studied that for a month only, and then I left and I joined economics, statistics, and mathematics so that I can learn a little bit about commerce side of it. I forgot to mention I used to be a science student in my school days. So of course, understanding commerce was really interesting for me so that I can
Sure.
run my venture. But when I started as India's one of the first game development studio. Um, but then, of course, in those time, 1998, game development studio, this number of computers. I mean, forget about 5G or 4G. There was, dial-up connections in India.
That's
So
right.
when you try to connect internet, it used to be Internet Explorer and only Windows 95 as an operating system, and
Wow.
PC was a luxury in India at least. Um, so for me, it was really challenging in the initial days. But then I was looking for some help. If somebody can guide me, maybe mentor me. I couldn't find anyone who can actually help me in my business, growing up my business. So what I did, I learned things on my own. I started a parallel venture to assemble computers. I started selling them into different office. That's how I made my initial seed capital. And then I started an academy to create team. I learned game development, programming, and game art on my own. I did a couple of global certifications to understand the coding part of it in details, in depth, and started making one game title based out of our mythology. And when I started the academy inside my home, actually, it was my study room, to be very honest. It was not a fancy office. So initially, I got only one student. One student became 20, 20 became 50. So eventually, I was growing. And then I felt that it is time to create a team from the students that I'm teaching. So I took four people out of my students. and created a very small, cozy guerrilla team who can actually develop first kind of game, and then I started looking for selling it, who can actually publish it. So my understanding, or rather my IQ, at least told me that before I create any product, I need to understand the market first and go to market and say that, hey, I've got this, please buy. It's not going to
Right. Right.
happen. I was too early for the market, so I was checking the market, and then of course I got my first publisher. We published it, got success. Eventually, in 2008, we got a lot of success, and I was I started giving back to the community. So I'll make the whole story very short and crisp. Um, because I didn't get any kind of help from anyone, to be very honest, I felt that let me give back, let me mentor whatever I have, whatever I have learned, whatever knowledge I have, and whatever connections I have. So that's how you can say my mentoring life started as a startup mentor. At least people who are doing their graduation, who really want to start their own venture, I started helping them, uh, giving them connections, uh, to be very honest, hand holding them. In 2010, to mid 2009 actually, I did my first angel investment in India. It's like with a very small investment. It was actually out of passion, you can say. I saw a guy who was just like me, looking for
Right.
help, looking for money. No one is helping, so I thought that let me be that devil, and then maybe help that fellow. That's how my first step towards angel investment started, and then slowly I understood the whole ball game, and in next due course of time, in next few years, I started around three different angel funds along with a couple of my known corporate bodies, as well as friends, you can say. They became my friends. I mean, those corporate connections became eventually my friends. We started
Sure.
trusting each other. We created the fund. Slowly, I helped one Chinese fund to convert that into a complete solo, full-fledged venture capital fund, and they registered that into China. They started exploring the Asian market. I started helping them. Um, uh, I forgot the year, probably 2011 onwards, maybe. I really don't remember. I have been invited into a lot of various different incubation centers, accelerators as an advisor. And then slowly I was, you can say, being into this whole ecosystem of helping people, giving back, and then guiding startups. I of course helped Google Business Group. I helped TIE. I helped so many like CII, Elma. Became president into a couple of chamber of commerce. Started the total ecosystem of startups in two different chamber of commerce in India. While doing all these activities, I felt that this is a right time probably to start own kind of mentoring pool, as well as investors pool, as a platform. Hence,
Right.
I started Entrepreneur Space as a merger acquisition and international business development organization that grew eventually, and we started helping a lot of companies to grow from point B to point Z, of course, with the various different countries like US, in Europe, various part of GCC countries, Asia, of course. Slowly I was thinking that what if I invest in various different domain with different verticals, and probably be part of various different domain culture, so that eventually I can create a common concrete platform, which will be the ultimate platform with courses, with knowledge, with support system, with funds, with everything, almost everything.
Right.
So I started exploring, honestly speaking, various different part of all these kind of activities, including media, technology, agriculture, a lot of different um, perspectives, approximate 21 different clusters. And hence, during pandemic in 2020, I felt that this is the right time to create and launch the platform. So we launched World Leader Summit as a platform, and of course, I'm blessed that you came, and you were there in 2020 December summit. So we actually started as a big summit with 90 countries presence, with 120 plus speakers. A lot of startups has been filtered from our global judges and jury members, and then we float it as an ecosystem. Right now, we have 42 plus countries ambassadors who are actually working desperately to grow the ecosystem. It's pretty new, but with all those background, all those strength, all those 23 years of rigorous activities, it's just a passion basically to help and grow the whole ecosystem. That's how World Summit started, and that's my background.
Wow. Fantastic. I actually, so one thing, it's really interesting. I didn't know you had a games background. So my kind of my big jump from small business to larger business was actually in games also. So but I didn't know that about you. That's pretty cool. I'd love to come check out some of your old game projects. I think that'd be pretty interesting. And World Leader Summit, yeah, you guys are doing some amazing things at World Leader Summit. I really enjoyed being able to attend in December. That was really cool. And I guess my a question for me would be when did you find yourself really getting involved in events? Because I know that you've been involved in events for quite some time, but when did that really kind of start for you?
Okay, so like I used to do a lot of personal curated meetups, events, which I did in Asia, in few parts of very small parts of Africa, of course, and in few parts of Europe. So what I used to do, I used to curate 100 entrepreneurs meetup. I forgot to mention I started actually a trust. It's called Entrepreneurs Body. It's a complete full-fledged chamber of commerce which I started in India around 7 years back, called Bomb Entrepreneurs, with 3,500 members body. So that actually eventually started as an event concept with 50 people gathering. So I've been doing it with physical meetup, of course. Have been hosting that as a dinner meetup, has been hosting that as a breakfast meetup, and of course as a full day, 2 days, full-fledged event as a business collaboration, B2B matchmaking systems. So probably it's like maybe 8 to 10 years I've been involved to execute all those things. But online, it's uh, I think it's been 2 years I've been conducting online events. Yeah, not more than that.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. So two years, almost as long as BizTech, and I know you've been very involved in those events. I mean, how many virtual events would you say you've done in those 2 years?
A lot, to be very honest, a lot. I really forgot the number. I'm lost with numbers, honestly speaking.
I
I'll tell you the
figured it was
secret.
something like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you the secret. Like before World Leader Summit, when pandemic just started, I think it was March in India. In March, I did around 20. April, I did around 30. So I forgot the counting, to be very honest. Like,
Fantastic. And overall, though, a lot of experience in virtual events, even though it's been 2 years, a lot of experience. So that's good. You've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly, I'm sure. Well, and on that note, let's kind of move into our topic, which is how do you monetize virtual events? Obviously, virtual events on the rise with the pandemic, a necessity. But there are a dime a dozen. There's so many, and I think that one of the biggest struggles for companies that host events is how do you monetize? Because how do you get people to pay for tickets or whatever it might be? But I noticed that a lot of events are free. So how in the world should people be monetizing these events?
well, if it is basically, I'll tell you, if I'm not wrong, during this pandemic, there's a bombardment of online webinars.
Oh my gosh.
Everywhere you can see some part of the world, some webinar is happening,
Oh
and people
yeah.
are confused where to go, which one to attend. Some people wanted to attend maybe the part where some celebrities are. Some probably people are looking for where maybe they can get some value. But let me tell you one secret sauce. When you try to monetize your online event, if people can get value out of it, if they can get business, there are three different kind of audience for online
Okay.
events, as per my understanding. Um, One kind of people, they are actually business giver and business taker. I mean, they are looking for increasing and improvising their business network and grow. That's one. Number two kind of people are basically teachers, professors, and people who are seeking for knowledge. So these guys, they probably don't want any business out of it, but they just want to increase their knowledge base. So
Okay.
the second category, this professor, structured teachers, um, their target market and their hunger for knowledge is different. If we look at the third categories are mainly students. So if we take a deep dive into making money out of online summits, if the ticket size, like the price for any kind of online summit for students, if my target is students, is like price of a cup of coffee, approximately. Just giving you rough example.
Okay.
Students usually love to attend those kind of knowledge sessions where they feel that okay, fine, this is available probably in some online session, but I can get curated knowledge within maybe half an hour session or maybe 1 hour session or maybe a full day session, and it's just costing me my pocket money. So they are okay to invest that. That's the kind of mindset I have seen so far. When we look at the business community, they love to pay for things where they can get value. If it is a business matchmaking, if it is something where they can actually express their own business to the world and they are getting some amount of help, some amount of value, and they can grow, of course, people would love to pay for the online summit.
Right.
Here comes the interesting fact. What I have seen so far, I'll be talking highly about BizzTalk because I've seen that you guys have an amazing platform which is in 3D, and that's basically doing a matchmaking session. Like for an example, I can become an avatar into the system, and then I can handshake with someone. I can talk to that gentleman, go to a private room. It's just like a normal business event. So what we do in business event, why we attend, why we pay for the tickets, to grow our network, to
Right.
probably sometimes to get some business out of it, to become popular probably. So some people have some different agenda. So if I look at business people's agenda, this is the main three things that they can get. So if we have a platform where people can have the same similar kind of experience, I think that's one of the best way to get the value out of it. So people wouldn't mind to pay for it. From the
Right.
point of view of sponsors, if they get good number of footfall, their brand is visible and it's visible to so many number of people, so many number of audience, and their target group is actually um, optimized. Like for an example, if I'm supposed to sell some T-shirt and I'm getting an opportunity to maybe display my T-shirts with a discounted rate for some online summit, and a person can go and they can check my products. As a company, if it's a startup or it's an established company, I would love to sponsor that event and make money. So the third option is from the online advertisement. So of course, once you
Say
are
that again, Arijit. Sorry.
online advertisement, which is like ad
Oh, yeah. Right.
monetization.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So nowadays, if we look at the social media, if we have very popular content, people are watching it. It's like popular, becoming popular, growing day in day out. Whether it's Facebook or LinkedIn or maybe in YouTube, you can always monetize that. It's not a big money, but yeah, we can always monetize that. So these are the
Right.
three different options as per my understanding goes. And then there are fourth option, which is coming up. That's mainly on augmented reality. So the next business meetup, as per my understanding, is coming up very soon with AR-based system, where a person can actually have a curated communication system into his or her own smartphone, and they can interact and touch and communicate using AR. But that's the future. I'm
Wow.
not sure how to monetize it, except placing some ads or maybe very curated voice tagging. But yeah, that's the future that's coming.
Wow. Yeah, AR, that would actually be pretty cool. That would be pretty interesting, especially if you can, if it's a like a trade show where there's lots of physical items and stuff, but you can see it, via AR. That would be pretty neat. Okay, so let me if I understood. So we've got ticket sales, sponsors, and then advertisement. So what which of these monetization strategies have you seen be especially effective in this, let's just say the last year, right? I mean, especially maybe even last 6 months. What would you recommend to someone who's like, okay, I really want to put together an event, but I'm really worried about the cost, or I'm worried about not being able to make money. Which of those strategies would you tell them to lead with?
Could you please repeat your question? I lost the connection.
It's okay. I talk too much. I apologize.
No, 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 I'm so sorry. I couldn't hear.
Yeah. So if a new event organizer was going to put together an event and they wanted to do their best job on monetization, which of those strategies would you recommend that they lead with first?
Okay, so initially I'll recommend to build a very strong ecosystem and filter out people. You need to understand whom you are collaborating with, whom you are handshaking with. That's really vital and important. I'm raising this point because I've seen um, as a startup company when they start their events, online or offline, doesn't matter, mainly in online world, all of a sudden they say that okay, we partnered with XYZ company without cross-checking that XYZ company, and maybe because of their some past old records of that partner, which is not that very cool and good, other people are not very comfortable to sponsor you or maybe become partner for you.
Right.
So I'll highly recommend partnership works best, but have a filtered, understandable partnership. Don't mix and mold. For an example, if I have a partner who is my technology partner into maybe online 3D business matchmaking, if I have that,
Right.
for an example, if I have you as our partner, I am not going to partner with any other X person who is from the same similar domain. It's not
Right.
ethical. Okay, it's not ethical. That's number one. People usually misfire all these things. They usually take same similar kind of activities in their own domain and then they can't manage. Second tips, if you're asking me, when you are going for sponsorship, you're asking people to sponsor your event or probably asking people to pay your tickets and buy your tickets. Always try to give extra. If the sponsors are getting, say, for an example, okay, in online summit, I'm going to get a 3D screen. My video will be played, and then I'll be getting a stall. I'll be getting probably 30 minutes slot to talk about my brand. I'm just giving you a hypothetical example.
Sure.
Apart from that, let us give them a curated character, especially for that particular brand. What will happen? They will become happy and eventually they will say, wow, you know what, we expected videos, we expected a 10-minute slot, we expected a stall, but they are giving us a cosplay character which is roaming from one room to another room. So it's cool, like nobody thought about it. So it's a kind of
Right.
beautiful idea. It's a marketing strategy these guys have done, like amazing. So these kind of small stunts, these kind of small tips always helps online events to become more successful and popular.
I love it. I love it. And I think that was really, I like how you kind of went step by step on your recommendation. Now, let me ask one more because this is a little bit different from, basically instead of a new organizer. What about a big event organizer that wants to start doing online events, but They've got a big brand. Like I'm thinking something like GDC, right? GDC, huge event, but they weren't able to do it last year. And I think that they'll be able to do it this year, but maybe they decide that they want to do virtual events now. What strategies would you recommend someone like that implement on that event?
Okay, so I'll tell you, like I wanted to do that in multiple different countries, honestly speaking, which I'll be sharing with you last year
Sure.
in December for any large event like that size. So in December we did a 10 days summit, as you know, and
Right.
it was not easy. It's like um,
No.
yeah, 120 speakers with 10 days, and I was awake for 10 days. Not only 10 days, I was awake for a month. It was like 22 hours every day. And last days also my energy level was like this, you know. But then after that, I had
Yeah.
to take 7 days break. Anyway, coming back to the point, um, first and foremost thing that usually is adopted is like activity of promotion of your sponsors, which eventually always people feel that I can do it maybe in virtual. But what I did, at least in WLS, inside our own country, I couldn't do it out of India. I failed on that. But in any way, maybe in December 2021, we'll be doing it if it is totally online. I wanted to give food supply, who became our food partner, directly to their home. Example, if you're attending the event from Germany and we have a food partner from Germany from the same town, or maybe a big player who is sponsoring our event as a food partner, they have an option to deliver food directly to the attendees' home. And as a normal event, if you attend that event, your there are two ways. One, you're buying your food initially as a package. Second,
Right.
you're not buying your food, rather you are attending the summit and from the stalls you are buying the food and then you are consuming. So
Right.
if we go for the second option, people who are attending, they feel that, wow, this is a food partner. Maybe just example, Domino's is a partner. We can order Domino's pizza with 30% discount if we are attending World Leader Summit as a summit. That gives a different kind of kick.
It
And
does.
I think that's one of the best way to give online summits a mixed mode with a very different kind of experience for people. Example, if you have a partner who can actually give you goodies, you can always courier these goodies to your attendees. If you have
Right.
a partner like a technology partner, they're offering something like cloud server solution, just giving you example. And when they're attending the event, you are giving the email blast to their email ID that for next 1 year, their cloud servers are free and they can actually scratch the code and get that discount. Instead of giving them a small goodie bag, it can be a digital goodie bag. So
I love it.
those things are small tips to probably for the big events. But there is a challenge. But there is a challenge. It's a big challenge. I think as a human being, we love to meet people. We love to handshake with each other. We love to hug each other. You know, we love to smell how other people is actually smelling, and there lies the gap. Like in digital world, probably we can't do that at the moment. We don't have that technology. That's what we are missing for big events. Those thousand number of people whom we are watching, and then all of a sudden we feel that, okay, this guy looks really decent and let me talk to him. This is going to be missed in those kind of big events for sure. But yeah, I mean, this is the time where people can be more innovative. Probably they can adopt more and more such kind of stuff which I was sharing, and of course they can curate that, and it will be of course a successful thing. At least we got success from India. Like we during the lunch time, it was split into two different times because of time zones. So in Indian time, I always started at 6 a.m. in the morning. It used to end at 11:30 a.m. Then again from 4 p.m. it went up to 11 p.m. in the late night. So during
Wow.
this middle time, Indians who are attending the whole event from the morning time, we got food partners who started delivering food to their home so that they can attend and they can eat and they can enjoy. And they loved it.
Wow.
They loved it.
That's so cool. I love it. I love it. What a great suggestion. Wow. Arija, I'm so glad that you came here today and shared your expertise and your insight. Um, you definitely have a unique way of looking at this problem, like this thing, and so I really appreciate that. We're out of time, but if you had maybe 30 more seconds of final thoughts for the audience, or if you have any WLS things coming up, maybe let the audience know, but or
Oh,
how they
well,
can get in touch with
of
you if
course,
they want to if
every
they want to
month.
mentor, right? If they want to mentor, how can they reach out to you?
Well, of course, the best option is connecting BizzTalk. Number one, number two, I'm totally available in social media. You can always Google my name, Arijit Bhattacharya. It's Arijit space Bhattacharya, Bhattacharya. You can always reach out to me. I'll be more than happy and glad to help. But for the final thoughts, if you're asking me about the last 30 seconds, of course, World Leader Summit do monthly two different key event always. One is a business meetup, which we call as business symposium, where we ask people to come forward and talk about their business for 10 minutes and what help they need from our ecosystem. So we have a curated 30,000 subscribers list, wherein we usually send your business data and details to all these business people. So this list is not basically for normal common subscribers. Mainly people, like 90% people who subscribe on us, they are mainly business people. So if you
Right.
have your own business, you want to expand and explore the network of ours, we are totally open. um, but I'll ask everyone to probably follow a simple rule of maybe I'll go back to my Hindu culture. I'll be asking everyone to become like water. So the concept is pretty simple. um, Water doesn't have any kind of taste, doesn't have any shape, don't have any color. I mean, in life, we don't feel that we need water until unless we're thirsty. I mean, just think in your own mind. Do you feel that you need water until unless you really need to drink? Usually, no.
No.
But without water, no one can survive. So I'll probably ask, or rather, give a small thing to the audience that in life, if you want to grow, just try to be like that, tasteless, colorless, shapeless. Whatever is coming into your way, try to understand it, mix with it, get their color, and then become colorless and grow more. Become calm, no problem on that. If somebody is hitting you, don't hit back, because water never ever hit backs. It's their own reflection they are going to get. Okay. But when time comes, if you feel you really need to do something like running faster than light or something, water sometimes becomes tsunami. So if you are following these small things, which is like probably a couple of thousand years old tips,
Right.
uh, life will become very easy for you to run business. And when you run large business, believe me or not, if you are running your large corporation, you will see a lot of various different kind of people. Accept all these kind of people. It doesn't matter. I mean, you will get a lot of variety in life. And when you
Yeah.
run such kind of events, to be very honest, coming back to our own discussion, like the way you guys are doing, you are taking a lot of people. I'm sure you are getting a lot of experience. The kind of versatile personalities are coming into your platform. So does us. We are getting a lot of different kind of people coming to us, asking for various different kind of help. Like last time from Russia, a group of artists came and they actually tried to save their own nature. I'll be taking maybe 2 seconds more of yours. They wanted to save their nature. They wanted to save their own mountain. And that artist started singing, started drawing against a soda factory. That soda factory was actually destroying the mountains to generate carbon dioxide because they didn't have the technology. But the people, because of that agenda, the people of that locality, they stopped the whole factory. They said, we want to save our nature. It's beautiful. But the artist in our platform saying, I understand I stopped the whole factory, but the industry needs to grow. So I want your help to get some Indian technology. We know that in India it is possible without destroying nature. You can actually produce artificial carbon dioxide for the soda factories. Could you please connect me with some technology guy who can actually give us those input so that I can ask the owner of the factory so that they can run it because they also need to survive.
Right.
I guess that's beautiful. I guess that's beautiful. So this fellow is not at all thinking about only nature. He's also thinking about the industry so that people can get job. And that made a huge change during COVID time to people. You
I
know,
love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Arijit. I appreciate you sharing all that with me. And I know we're over time, but it was a good time. I enjoyed it. So thanks for coming, and I hope it's all right. I'd love to have you again. I think that there's several different topics that you can give insight in for our viewers. So I'd love to have you again. So
it will be
sound
my
good?
own.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, Arijit, thanks for being here. Thanks to our viewers for being here as well. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.